think I'm going to bleed, not really bleed, but flush my rear brake fluid. And what I found probably the easiest way to do it is like this. Okay, so here we go. I just grabbed some fuel line of mine laying around and put it on the bleeder screw here, the little port, and then put a loop in there so that I can pump the brakes and dump the fluid into this little can like that. And that loop prevents air from going back into the cylinder and getting air in your system and requiring you to bleed it. And yeah, I just don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do is pull this cap right here, and I'm going to just put fluid in there. Yeah, I'm just going to pump the fluid through. And I got this, I'm gonna put this stuff in there. So I'm gonna pump the fluid through, fill it with this, pump some more through, fill it with this, pump some more through, and then close it all up and then bleed it. Pull this tube off here and do the normal bleed procedure. But that's what I'm gonna do. Here we go. I don't know if you can kind of see the line in there. My fluid's low as it is. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna fill this before I start pumping the fluid through if I can. Yeah, there we go. So I got it filled. And now I think we just pump. You need to loosen this up first. That's what's going on. Let me do that real quick. So now I got a wrench. I'm going to loosen this up, this bleeder screw. Go the right way here. There we go. Loosen that up a little bit. And now I think we just pump. Sucking down the fuel or the hydraulic fluid, so I'm gonna just fill that back up and keep pumping, and it should pump all the way down through here and flush the whole fluid system. Just want to keep refilling it so I don't get air in the system. Okay, so I have flushed quite a bit of fluid through there. Not really sure how much, but I did notice that some of the fluid coming out was quite brownish looking or dark. I don't know if that's what happens when you overheat your fluid and have that brake fade or whatever, but I did notice a different color. So now it's clear. I think I'm gonna button it up and probably fill the reservoir up and then bleed the brakes the normal way, and hopefully I still have brakes. All right, so this is like, in case you don't know what I'm talking about, like do the normal bleed. I think it's just like any other automotive vehicle. What you want to do is you want to pump up your brakes and then hold the pressure down, and then you want to come over here, crack that bleeder screw just a little bit, and the fluid or air will come out of there, and you'll lose pressure in the pedal. So this will drop down this way, and then you want to tighten that screw up, and then basically do the same thing. So release the pedal, and then pump it back up again, and then crack that screw, loosen it, bleed a little bit more, tighten it up, and then just repeat that process. But what you don't want to do is you don't want to loosen up the bleeder screw and then let your finger or foot or whatever you're using off the pedal. Like, you want to keep the pressure on the pedal so you don't introduce air into the system. So that's pretty much the procedure. I'm not going to be able to show you kind of how to do it because I only have 2 hands, but there's plenty of info on the internet to do this, and it's, I don't know, to me it's, I don't know, learned this process a long time ago, but yeah, for some of you that don't know, that's what I'm talking about. So, yeah, so after you're done, you want to make sure that the fluid's up to the little line in there. There's a little line or a little beveled edge in there, and that's where you want to fill the fluid to. So after you get done bleeding your brakes, just make sure you return the fluid level to that good level. I return the fluid to that level. Just gonna put this cap back on. Actually, I'm gonna clean that O-ring, that seal. It looks pretty dirty, so I'm gonna do that real quick. Cleaned up. I'm just gonna return the cap in here. Make sure that thing goes straight in there. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I overfilled it just a little bit. Oh well. Should be good. Yeah, so I'm just gonna tighten this down, and then yeah, and then just you know, put your little cap back on, and you should be good. I have no idea the recommended amount, but that's what I ran through there. There was just a little bit of oil left in this container from mixing my gas earlier, but as you can see, that's about how much I put in there. About 2 ounces I ran through there. I don't know if that's a good amount or not, but I definitely noticed the color and fluid change, so I'm gonna say, yeah. There we go. All right, mix some fuel. This is kind of what fuel I'm running. I do like 2 gallons of 110 to just straight ethanol free 3 gallons of pump gas. And then I'm running, I use this stuff, this Amsoil Sabre. I don't know, I've used it since day one, and the guy that I bought the bike from, he used the same stuff. And I think he was doing the same fuel mixture, but that's the fuel I run. So I just mixed up some fuel, transferred some fuel out of my other tank that I throw in the pit lanes, just so it's not like a full fuel tank. So like when I first started racing, I kind of really had no idea what I was doing. So I would put my fuel tank on pit road that was like, had whatever it had in it. I only had one like mixed 2-stroke can. So it could have been all the way full, or yeah, it's usually like the bad thing about it was it's usually full. So I'd come into the pits, and whoever's helping me, or if I had to do it on my own, like it's this super heavy 5-gallon tank of fuel, and it's not exactly easy to throw up on the bike and fuel. So I only leave like about 2 gallons in my pit fuel tank now, and it's nothing special. It's just your standard little tank. It's no quick fill, quick dump, or anything like that. It's just, I don't know, it is what it is. I don't consider myself on that skill level to be using the quick dump or whatever. So yeah, it's kind of just a waste of money for me right now. But that's the fuel I run. I've had really good luck with it, and yeah.